Welcome to episode number 4. We're
Of the
still
Money
here.
Sauce Fantasy Hockey Podcast.
That's right.
Did I get the name
But
right?
yes.
Sweet.
And we are brought to you by us. No, we did not land that sweet
I was like, we
sponsorship.
got me undies.
I'm working on man-made. So, uh, we're here. It's the 4th one. We're still in it. Uh, PHL is starting to roll along nicely. Something that you might consider as a fantasy owner, but something that the NHL does every year, the outdoor game. And I was doing a little bit of research, and I found out that the first ever outdoor game that involved an NHL team was in 1954.
Okay.
And the Detroit Red Wings played an exhibition game against the Marquette Pirates. And you're probably saying, who is that? Well, the
No.
Marquette. Oh, you know? Okay.
Yeah, they're pirates, so they're probably off the Bay of Florida somewhere or in Bermuda.
Yeah, I'm sure they had outdoor ice in Florida in 1954.
Hey, global warming's really changed Florida.
The Marquette Branch Prison in Michigan um, had put together a team of hockey players to play the Red Wings in an exhibition game. Um,
Wow. It's
Now the
like the longest
score,
yard, but with a professional team.
yeah, the score was 18-0 after the first period, so they stopped keeping score. And while it's never been confirmed, the rumor out there is that Jack Adams, who was the manager for the Red Wings, as in Jack Adams, the guy that
Yeah, yeah.
the Coach of the Year award is named after, uh, arranged this game because he had to make good with 2 mafia members that were locked up in jail. So I wonder what he got himself into there.
Wow.
Yeah. So then 2 years later, the Boston Bruins in 1956 went on a Atlantic Canada tour. They were
Mm-hmm.
playing basically junior A teams, and they kind of just went up and down the coast there. Um, all of those were under similar rules in terms of a mercy rule, and every game the Bruins mercied the
Right.
teams from junior A. But actually, um, up until 1991, the NHL never bothered with an outdoor game, although the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, which was originally built for the Pittsburgh Civic Opera, had a roof that could open like the Sky Dome.
Mm.
And for years they talked, well, we could open the roof and let the Penguins play with the roof open kind of thing. But
Mm-hmm.
apparently, when the Penguins um, were granted their expansion team, that was 1967, the way that they hung the scoreboard in the arena made it so that they'd have to take down the scoreboard if they wanted to open the roof, and then they'd have to like put it back up and hang it up some other way. So
Oh, geez.
so they never bothered. Um, in 1991, the Los Angeles Kings and New York Rangers played an actual official NHL game. Now, it was a preseason game, and they actually played it on the parking lot of Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas.
Oh, and
Yeah,
they played it in Las Vegas in the parking lot.
correct. They did. That's right. So they had a cooling machine like they have now when they played it at Dodger Stadium, or they're
Okay.
playing games in Tampa Bay this year,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. They just stuck it in the parking lot, threw up some bleachers, and yeah, apparently by the end of the second period, the ice was littered with bugs. So they had to pause the game, clean the bugs off, and then finish it off in the third. But the first regular season outdoor game a real one was November of 2023. That was the Oilers against the Canadiens, the first Heritage Classic
Hmm.
at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. And then from 2013 on, every year, the NHL has had at least one outdoor game.
Really? Every
Yeah,
year?
every year, at least one. Um, they've had no really consistency with the Heritage Classic, but the Heritage Classic is the outdoor games played in Canada. For a while,
Okay.
it was every other year, but they haven't done one in about 5 years now.
Oh,
They have the Winter Classic, which is the New Year's Day outdoor game. That was the one
right.
that started in Buffalo when the Penguins and the Sabres played at the Bills Stadium.
Was that the
Um,
first one, like in the modern era?
that was 2005.
Hmm.
So you had 2003, 2005, and then again in 2013, and that was the first one of the NHL Stadium Series, which is basically any other outdoor game that's not played in Canada or not played on New Year's Day.
Right.
So there's been some in February. There's been some, um, yeah, most of them are played at baseball stadiums or football stadiums. There was that one that Colorado played in that was on the golf course, and I think in Lake Tahoe or something like that.
Okay.
So this year, the NHL will have two outdoor games. Both of
Hmm.
them are going to be in Florida. Um, the Winter Classic will be played in Miami at the Marlins Baseball Stadium, and that'll be the Blackhawks and the Panthers.
Hmm.
And the Stadium Series game will be in Tampa Bay. That'll be on January 8th, and that will be the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Boston Bruins, and that's at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium. So
In
that's a little
Florida.
in Florida in January. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Um, I mean, they like I said, they did that outdoor game in at Dodgers Stadium, I recall, and I don't remember how the ice quality was, but
I
it,
can't
it
imagine it's
appeared.
very good.
I mean, I know they have all these fancy machines and all that to make the ice freeze and they set it up, like a week in advance to try to
Yeah.
get the ice to set and all that. But you're right. I can only imagine that there's at least a thin layer of water on top of the ice from the sun shining down. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. They keep going back, so it must work well enough that they're willing to put a regular season game in these conditions.
Yeah, it must be profitable for the players and the owners to keep doing it, especially to try and do it in Florida
Mhm.
and have the ice out there, what did you say, for a week to try and get it to set?
About that, yeah, I don't have I don't have any exact numbers in front of me, but I do remember seeing in years past on NHL.com where they would have like the setup, the little stage and all that they build, and then they have the ice already put down. And generally speaking, they do, an alumni game or maybe an AHL game beforehand too. So the ice is put in for a while and they do multiple events on it.
Mm,
So it's got to be in decent shape for them to play on.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Enough to play a decent game and not affect your regular season stats and your standings and all the statistics and stuff. It's just, yeah, it's mind blowing. It just seems like a you're not growing the game really. Like, I don't get it. It just seems very gimmicky and a reason to create a jersey and then sell another jersey.
Oh, absolutely. You're getting that factor where, yeah, they're all wearing special uniforms. You're playing in bigger stadiums, so you're probably selling more tickets, which is probably the big draw, of course. But you're right. I agree with you that I feel that it's very gimmicky. Um, and I think, we've seen the NHL. play around with the All-Star format so much. Last year they had success with the Four Nations Cup thing instead of the All-Star game, but they've done those 3-on-3 tournaments and pick your team fantasy draft things and all that kind of stuff. If you ask me, this is the solution. Find
Have,
a
have an outdoor game
have an
instead
outdoor
of an all-star
game
break.
as the All-Star game, okay, and lean into it. Like lean into it hard. Go to Montreal in the middle of January, play or go to Ottawa and play on the canal out there. And you know what? Screw it. It's the All-Star game. Just throw sticks. Like let's lean all the way into it. Everybody sticks in. Let's throw sticks, and that's how we make our
I
All-Star
love sticks
teams.
in. And instead of face-offs, they can do NHL.
That's right.
Just you're
Just
playing
to
for the
start the
Stanley
game.
trash can. Here you go.
Goalies are wearing pads, blocker, a catcher, and a face mask, but that's it. Like just a jersey. Uh, the players just have the shin pads and the gloves and the helmet kind of thing. Just lean into it. If you're gonna go gimmicky, go gimmicky.
It's funny how, like, in modern sports, the All-Star game is just a joke.
It's essentially for the sponsors at this point, right? Like
Players
it's
don't care. The games mean nothing.
no, and nobody wants
It's
to get hurt, so they're not trying
exactly.
hard.
Yeah.
Um, and everyone's kind of got their kid out there, or yeah, there's all sorts of celebrity involvement or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. It's to be honest with you, same thing with the outdoor game. I wouldn't cry if they disappeared.
No, I wouldn't notice. I didn't even know they did one every year.
Well, there you
Like,
go.
I don't know. It is what it is.
It is
I
what it
guess.
is.
Like, it's a silly novelty that won't go away. And I can't imagine, like, the live experience is very good. Like, you buy a stadium ticket,
Mhm.
you're way back,
So when they did the game at BMO Field, my uncle and I went to the alumni game the day before.
right?
We sat in opposite of 111, but in the corner of the
Okay,
supporters
closer to
section
the
there.
Gardner.
Yeah, yeah. And about halfway up with the lower bowl. To be
Okay,
honest with you, not not a great view. I
yeah,
thought that would be the best view. I thought you'd want to be up a little bit higher. Too
yeah.
close to the ice, you don't really see what's going on.
Hmm.
But um, yeah, I mean, maybe part of it was just the fact that it was the alumni game. There was a bunch of guys out there that clearly at one point were really good hockey players, but aren't anymore. Um, I mean, there's a little bit of the novelty, like, hey, I'm out here in the freezing cold watching hockey, but like I was out there in the freezing cold watching hockey. I didn't need to freeze my butt off to to
It's like,
watch an insignificant hockey game outside, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, I know a few people that went to the actual game the day after. It was Leafs Red Wings, I believe,
Okay,
and they all had a good time. So
okay.
maybe I just chose I shouldn't have gone to the alumni game. Maybe I should have gone to the actual game,
Sprung for the actual game.
but yeah, the tickets were cheap and I wanted to just kind of see what the outdoor experience was like, and I don't have any desire to do it again.
Yeah,
So,
but poor BMO Field. That thing has to host everything. And just, I'll never, like, when we went to the finals for TFC and everything is just like, the scaffolding was just
mhm.
so, I don't want to say sketchy. They did a good job. It was just like, they try to use that stadium for everything, and it
Sure
does its
do.
best. And I loved that stadium, just the original iteration without the second level on the east side.
Hmm.
Um, it was beautiful.
And they're in the midst of yet another renovation, reconstruction to make the north end basically a bunch of boxes for the World Cup. So we'll see
Is that
what
going to go
things.
up or just
Yeah,
how that? Yeah, okay. That'll
it's just
suck
gonna
because
be
that's like
straight up.
the best thing about that field. I remember when we were first going to games
Mm,
and then section 111 and like the back row, you could just like see the whole city skyline. And you're
hmm
looking over and you look to your left and you're seeing the lake. And you look to your right and then you're just seeing the gardener go by. Like you felt like you were in the city at like a local game.
Yeah.
Um, and it's lost a little bit of that magic as it expanded, as they've needed to.
hmm
But it just feels more um, corporate, less intimate. Is what I'm looking for.
Absolutely agreed. Yeah. We had a fair number of trades this week in the PHL.
Oh yeah, it was a busy week for movement again. I
Hmm.
There was a trade offer I was really hemming and hawing about, really wanted to pull the trigger. It just involved the one first round pick I drafted that is uh, really doing well. Of course, the big move I made this week was dropping Dustin Wolf, just cutting my losses.
Moved
And
on.
oh, it's gonna sting. But moving on. Yeah, I can't let that albatross weigh me down. Season's too short.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell me about the other trades.
Well, Pete was involved in two this week. So he sent Thomas Hartley of Dallas, who is now out injured, and Troy Terry of Anaheim to Garrett Newstrat. And in return, he received Aaron Ekblad, who he proceeded to drop off of his roster,
Mm-hmm.
and Robert Thomas from St. Louis. So a little bit of a case where they switched a defenseman and a forward, and I guess to tweak what they have going on a bit there. Um, like I said, he dropped Ekblad um, after right after picking him up on the same day. So I'm guessing his goal was to get a hold of Robert Thomas primarily,
Yeah.
who is 3 goals and 9 assists so far on the season. Thomas Hartley, like I mentioned, he's sitting out as of the weekend, but 1 goal, 9 assists on the season for him. And Troy Terry from Anaheim, I think that's the real piece for Garrett, is 6 goals and 15 assists. So
Mm-hmm.
big part of what's going on in Anaheim. Very streaky team so far this year, but yeah, big part of what's going on in Anaheim. And then Rick and Pete also made a trade where Pete picked up Braden Point from Tampa and Jordan Cryu from St. Louis. So a couple of Blues added to Pete's roster this week.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent Rick Brad Marchand and Matthew Barzal from the Islanders. Uh, Braden Point has got 3 goals and 7 assists on the season. Jordan Cryu is 6 goals and 5 assists. Marchand is 13 goals and 10 assists. He just won't go away. And Barzell is 5 goals and 10 assists. So um, quite a bit of scoring going back and forth there. And then finally, myself and Dan pulled off a trade as well. I moved Jacob Markstrom to Dan and my third round pick as well. And in return, I got the ninth round pick from Dave and Colorado's Scott Wedgwood. Um, Obviously, like we talked about a bit on the podcast last week, I needed a bit of help in net,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to find something. So hopefully, this works out nicely for me. Now it's time for the matchups of the week. Um, Interesting to note is that Garrett and Paul were the matchup of the week this past week, but Yahoo actually did not give any matchup this week, the matchup of the week designation. Don't really know what's going on there, but anyways, we move on. So
Our league is
Garrett,
that bad, I guess.
I guess so. Uh, Garrett and Paul was a very close one. 73 even for Garrett, 72.4 for Paul.
Wow, he just squeaked it out. Good for Garrett.
Yeah, the win streak's over for Paul. For Garrett, David Pasternak was the player of the week with 10.6 points. And for Paul, it was Elias Peterson with a 10.5 point game.
He's having a great year.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Oh,
It's
JT
been,
Miller. Wow.
yeah. I think we looked at this last week, but yeah,
Yeah, he was a
six.
keeper.
Yeah, yeah, he was a keeper, absolutely. So, the next matchup we have myself and Pete, the two busy traders this week. 49.4 for me, 41 even for Pete. For me, Adam Fox came through with a big week of 7.8. For Pete, it was Matthew Schaefer, sorry, with a 7.3.
Unreal.
But fun to note with all the moves that Pete made. There's a whole lineup
Yeah, he's got a big roster that week.
of. Moving on, we have Colin and the captain. Colin scored 60.8 points this week, captain with
Oh,
45.4.
he's not doing well.
Not looking great for captain. Nathan McKinnon was the player of the week for Colin, who scored a 5.7. And that's not right because I'm just noticing that
Mort
Mortis
Sider.
Cider at a 9.4. Sorry, Colin. I just mixed that up. Over on captain's side of things, it was Patrick Kane. He had a 5.9 point
You know
week.
it's a bad week when Patty Kane is your player of the week.
Well, I think it's the story that we kind of keep talking about with Cappy is not that it was a horrible week for goalies, but if his two top goalies aren't having good weeks, clearly just average weeks, um, it's not working for him. So we have to do our weekly Cole Caulfield checkup. A
Yeah, yeah.
1.4 with one goal, two penalty minutes. Moving on, we had Rick and yourself. So
Yeah,
the
another tight
Hughes.
one. I picked up a player on Sunday, which gave me 0.6 points. Um, which so it would have been even more tight if I hadn't done
Well,
that.
well, that win, of course, brings you to 3-3, so 500 on the season, and you got the 72 points even. Well, Rick got the 70.6. Um,
I always love beating out the projections, like a big middle finger to Yahoo. You underestimated me. Ha!
Yeah, there's two games going on. There's the game that you're playing against your opponent and the game you're playing against the Yahoo projections.
It's just you against the world.
uh, Artemi Panarin had the 9.5 with the player of the week for Rick. And living up to your team name, we had Quinn Hughes with a 9.7.
Yeah, he's 7 assists and like
7 assists. Yeah, that's big.
and he didn't play many games, I feel like. He had 2 games and he had 3 assists each game. So unless he played another game and didn't do anything. Like he came back from injury and just hasn't stopped.
Yeah, 3 games. Yeah. 3, 4, 3. Yeah, he's
He
just,
didn't play in the middle there.
yeah, good for him.
Load management for Quinn Hughes.
There you go. In the Quinn world order. Continue picking up a
No.
win. The Hughes world order.
Thank you.
Sorry.
With respect to Luke.
Next up, we had Dave and Marcel, and
Oh,
Dave
Dave.
went off this week. 86.8 points.
23 points above projection.
No
Only
kidding.
56 games played. Oh my gosh. Can't wait to see how this
And
broke out.
Marcel had 62.7, so not even necessarily a bad week for Marcel, but uh, um, as it feels like I'm saying every week, Jason Robertson was the player of the week for Dave. It's been it's
Wouldn't it
been
be nice if we give some of those points to his brother Nick?
a
Stop being so selfish, Jason.
he's definitely been a great ad for Dave. Did he keep him? Yeah, he
Yeah, yeah.
kept him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and for
Him and like
Marcel,
7 defensemen. Something silly like that. Love you, Dave.
Matt Boldy from Minnesota, 6.9 on the week. That was the player of the week for Marcel. That said, there was a bunch of, I think there was at least one, two, there's three. Okay, three players with 6 points for Marcel. That Austin Matthews injury is probably
And Victor Hedman.
uh, and Nugent Hopkins. Actually, there's there's quite a bit of injuries there
He
for
changed his name back
Marcel.
to the Peel Memorials.
There you go. Finally, we had Dave. Or Dave is not his name. Dan is his name. You guys with your DA names. Dan with 57.8 points and Ty with 49 points.
Oh,
Um,
slackers.
for Ty, it was Sam Reinhart with a 7.7 points for the week for player of the week. For Dan, and I'm particularly happy about this, it was Scott Wedgwood as the 8.7 points player of the week for him. So um,
That's exciting for you.
let's keep that going, Scotty boy. Uh, that would be very nice. Looking forward to this week. Well, I keep saying looking forward to this week, but it's the week in progress.
It's right now, baby. Live in the moment.
Live in the now, man.
I'm currently
That's
getting
for.
smacked by Paul Blumendahl.
Mhm. Well, let's start there. We'll start at the bottom of this list and work our way up. 23.4 points by Paul so far. You have 11.3, which is not bad. You would be ahead of almost half the league. Um, Yahoo likes Paul in this one, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing the projection went way up now that it's at 23.4. Marcel has Ty. Uh, Marcel is at 11.3 points so far. Ty is at 18.8. And Yahoo likes Ty by about 5 points. Dan and Garrett are facing off. Nope, that's Captain, isn't it? Sorry. Garrett and Captain are facing off. It's 12.8 for Garrett, projected at 64.5. 6.9 so far for Captain, projected at only
Oh,
49.18. That's a little mean there, Yahoo. Then we've got Pete and Dave facing off. Pete's sitting at 13.2 points, projected to be 55.38. Dave has 9.4 so far, and he's projected to be 61.4. Colin sitting at 10.8, projected to be 50.35. And Dan has a big zero, projected to be at 52.85, though, still, despite having a zero score on Tuesday
yeah.
at 9:52 to be precise. Yahoo still likes him, so that's an interesting one. Finally, I've got Rick. Rick's out ahead right now, 17.3 to 9.5. Yahoo likes him to have 68.52 points versus my 64.62 that Yahoo likes. So, um, looking down at the standings, we're seeing that Paul remains in sole possession of first place, 5-1. Marcel and Garrett are sitting in the 4-2 spot. Then about half the leagues had 3-3, and Rick, Captain, Dan, and Tyre down at 2-4. So a win for you could probably bump you up into that, top three-ish area, and that'd bring Paul down a notch there. That would be interesting if you could pull that off.
I don't think
Just
so. And I know I said I don't sweat till Sunday, but this week is an exception.
yeah, well,
Paul is just so dominant. And his team doesn't look that amazing, but they are. It's hard to argue with results.
absolutely. It's the whole balance thing, right? The everyone is
Yeah,
getting a
must be.
decent amount of points thing.
Do you ever regret trading McDavid?
Hmm. Um, Part of it we never knew was going to happen was adding Ty and Dan to the league and doing that whole expansion process.
Okay.
Obviously, that wasn't in my mind when I made the trade.
Right.
Um, but I mean, a key part of that trade was Tage Thompson that I got back. And
Right.
I still think Tage Thompson could be a really good player. I like him.
Do you
Colin,
have him?
no, Colin has him right now. Um, but Buffalo sucks,
Oh,
man. Buffalo
yeah.
sucks. And, I feel for him. I'd love to see him get out of Buffalo and do something, but yeah. After trading McDavid, I've had 2 years of, making playoffs and, being
You're
in
doing
the
better,
top,
right?
top five, I believe, almost all the time in those 2 years of the league. So I've definitely performed better to your point there. Absolutely. Um, but he's just such a good player uh, that
Yeah, I'm
it's
pretty bitter
like,
about it. I'm kidding. But I do remember not even having a chance to bid on him.
yeah, I mean, part of that too was maybe I should, and part of my regret is what I mean when I say that is maybe I should have said, everyone, I'm gonna move on from McDavid, like send me your best offers kind of thing. But again, uh, there was there was a couple players in there that I liked, and
Yeah.
I just was like, okay, I'm not sure it's gonna get much better than this, so away we went. I've also had the absolute worst luck with goalies. Um, I thought I had
Did
a
you
great,
draft one in the first round too?
yeah, last year. You want to know who it was? The one I just traded, Jacob Markstrom.
Oh, there you go.
So, um, yeah, what can I say besides for a little bit of regret, but I have done better since moving on from him. So
From a
I guess
managerial standpoint, it was an improvement.
that actually leads to an interesting question, though. Over the 10, 15, whatever it's been years we've been doing this league, has there been one of those trades for you where you've just gone, oh, why did I do that?
I don't think so. Last year I traded Shesterkin,
Hmm.
but I got a good deal out of Peter for it. I got a first round pick, and yeah, and I traded back for him because stable goaltending, like you said, is hard to find. And while New York isn't great, he plays a lot of games,
Yeah,
so he has that potential to be A tier.
absolutely.
I'm starting to. I mean, it's only one season in, but the Cole Caulfield for Luke Hughes trade, questionable.
I
Like,
mean, you
it's
got a
weird because
sweet
like you
name.
make that trade going into the season, and you're like, well, this is going to be like a future stud defenseman who's going to carry my team, be a part of my team for years down the road. And then this year I drafted Charlie McAvoy, and so he's having a better season, minus his face. I hope he can do the pro wrestling thing and wear like the nose gimmick and come back.
Yeah,
That'd be
dashing Cody
sweet.
Rhodes. Yeah, that would be
But
awesome.
yeah. So looking at the keepers, it's like, well, McAvoy's probably a better keeper than Luke Hughes. So, but it's not like I could have kept Cole Caulfield, but um, there were other players that I could keep.
Hmm.
I wanted to take a chance on Mitchkov, which is not looking great this year. So I thought it was worth it to potentially upgrade a young defenseman with a pedigree like that. So he's not bad, but is he keeper level? Maybe not. Um, yeah, those trades probably have recency bias. I don't know if I have. There hasn't been anything from like the past, like you said, we've been doing this a long time, that really stands out. I do remember drafting PK Subban with the thought like, oh, he's going to be like a long-term guy, and like he was great when I had him, and then he had I think his like sophomore slump, and I'm like, I'm giving up on him.
I feel
And
like you
his
didn't.
career was what it was, but he did get a lot of points for a while, and I just
Yeah,
remember that one vividly.
feel like when you think about players like Crosby, Ovechkin that have been around as long as we've been doing this, basically.
Yeah,
PK is one of those players that he came in, he became this big player for Montreal, and yeah, he ended up in Nashville, but he just fizzled away and pretty quick too. I mean,
he did.
Crosby, Ovechkin, Letang, they're all still going, and he's long gone at this point. So he would
Yeah,
have been up there in the conversation with those guys at one point in time.
yeah.
I
Um,
do.
the other thing
You
was
had
like I had like my core keepers for a long time. I had John Carlson for years, Pasternak for years, who I traded to Peter, who traded him to the other Garrett, ironically. And I had Shesterkin for. I think I've had Shesterkin like since we were in ESPN. Has he been playing that long? I've had him forever.
oh for sure he has been.
So I stuck loyal to my guy. So I didn't really have any big blow up trades. Then I'm
Mm,
like, oh man, that was dumb because I kept my superstars for a long time. I miss Pasternak, but um, my philosophy was to kind of trade him while I could get value for him.
which makes sense. Yeah.
But when I see him in the top 10 players, he's
Well,
number 5 in our league. It's like, oh, it,
Boston
you
isn't
know, especially when
supposed
my
to do
first round
this.
picks didn't hit. It's like, oh, I could still have him.
Yeah.
That's hockey.
Yeah, that's it. I have one of those instances that sticks out for me. It wasn't a trade though,
Oh,
despite what we just said about um, McDavid, and kind of links to him too. So the year McDavid and Eichel came into the league, I traded and got 1 and 2 and picked
I
them one and
remember that.
two. I yeah,
I think I was number 2, wasn't I? And did I trade you that pick?
I don't remember who it was to be honest with you,
I
but
can't imagine I did that.
all I know was I was pushing hard to get those two. The the year after, like the first year I had them on my roster, I was garbage. But I was kind of expecting that, so that was fine. The
Eichel
year
wasn't very good.
No, and it took him a long time to get it, either he was good and then he was injured, so he wasn't playing full
That's
seasons,
right.
or it took him basically to get to Vegas before, he's
He blossomed
become.
in Vegas. He got out of Buffalo and became something.
Who else has done something like that, Marner? Um, um,
Marner.
Sorry, it was too easy.
No, I
No, but the
lost them. Are
year,
you being
the
sarcastic?
no, I'm not.
Oh, because he's not like he's a 100-point player in Toronto.
No, no, I understand. I'm saying that he's playing well in Vegas as well.
Okay,
Is really like,
playing on a better team
yeah.
with like I don't even know if that's true, but like
It seems to be Vegas is a place where everyone can go. They can afford them all somehow, and like um, players get better in Vegas. It seems like somehow. But anyways, um, the year after was um, I, because I was so bad. I once again got an early pick, whether it was first overall or one of the top three. And Matthews was available.
oh
Is it Matthews? Yeah. Yeah, it was Austin Matthews. Yeah. And I was of the opinion at the time that he was going to spend the year in the AHL
yeah,
because there was no need for the Leafs to play him in the NHL, waste a year in the NHL, and and maybe do better than they could, so they would have a great draft pick again the next year. So I
mm-hmm.
passed on him, and
Who
he
did you
didn't
draft
last.
instead?
I mean, I don't remember, but that says everything you need to say because he didn't last much longer, and I've never had him on my team. So I could have had all three of those guys.
That would have been good.
Would have been good. I mean, it would have been three really, really good centers, though. So, you know, that comes back to the conversation of there's a lot of centers available
Yeah, let's look at the player list.
right here.
Go to
Yeah, this.
all available.
Hmm.
Not all available. All players.
All players, yeah. Just centers or
No, no, this is fine. Just
yeah.
like if you take a look at the top players,
Hmm.
look at Leo Carlson, projected rank 155, number two. Belongs
Yeah,
to Paul.
that's
Good job, Paul. Elias
oh, very nice.
Pettersson, projected rank 128, ranked 11. Also Paul. Good job, Paul.
Yeah,
Some of the big surprises that no one saw coming. Here,
Tom
I can make
Wilson.
Matt Boldy, Tom Wilson. Tom
I'll
Wilson
take
was
that.
like he didn't go in the first or second. I think it was the third round. I think we looked at this before,
Yeah, it was
but
something like
everyone
that.
passed
But
on because Tom Wilson like he's not a superstar skill guy, but you know, getting points.
oh,
Bo Horvat,
for a
another
tie
big one.
there. Yeah,
But
even Marchand for well now Rick, but was 112 and is 21 in there. Malkin for Dan 131 and
no,
is
no one
20.
saw that, and who knows if that's sustainable for a whole season. But
That's
it's
the
hard
whole
to remember. Like
Pittsburgh
we're
thing,
only
right?
a month and a bit in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of hockey left to be played, but just like
A lot of hockey left to be played, a lot of fantasy hockey left, but also you get too far behind. So we're in week 7 right now, believe it or not, of 20 before the playoffs start.
well, there you
So,
go.
I mean, we're almost halfway.
We're almost halfway. Wow. We need to adjust that schedule. I don't like ending early.
Um,
That's just me.
I think I'd have to double check when the NHL season ends versus when the playoffs end for us.
Hmm.
But I think it's just 1 or 2 weeks left in the season, and that's when you've got the rest of the guys and
I don't know how meaningful that is. I know a few guys rest,
hmm
but you've also got guys trying to make the playoffs
hmm
and working their asses off.
yeah. It's
It's
the
not
other.
like every first line center isn't playing for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But I also understand that those are the most meaningful weeks of our because we're in the playoffs.
right.
So,
We're in a
anyways,
championship round.
we're in a championship. That's right, championship
Yeah,
round, not just playoffs.
yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, just
Definitely,
some surprises in the top 25 players.
absolutely. Definitely some food for thought on what we want to do going forward as a league. Something that we need to talk about in the summer and all that as well too. But we'll get to maybe we'll talk more about that in future weeks.
Maybe we have a GM's meeting in Florida during the outdoor game that we can get tickets for the alumni game for, um, and hash it out then.
Sounds good. For now, that's it for this week. And we'll be back again next week because we're going to keep this thing rolling.
God willing.
Absolutely. So thank you for everyone that subscribed. I'm I thought that was mostly a joke, but like, subscribe,
Smash that notification bell, baby.
make a comment or something. Like if you have,
Oh, comments are good. Comments will drive traffic, yeah.
and
Leave a comment
your
below and tell us why you hate the outdoor games too.
and Pete, I'm talking directly to Pete here. If you want to come on and talk about your trades that you've made so far, we're open to have you on and have a little chat.
I love that. Night, everybody.
See you next week.